muted on stream. That's amazing.
I did it.
There he is.
He's
He's eating.
he's making macaroni noises.
Dude, it's a hot wing mac and cheese.
That sounds
fantastic.
fire.
It's phenomenal. That's the only good thing about living in Northeast Pennsylvania is the food.
Dude, Pennsylvania's food in general, like when you go to the Pittsburgh area, that shit's flame.
Anywhere that has sheets.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? So, your hat is fine in Discord. On stream, it's flipped. Freaking me out.
The chat wants to see what your food looks like because they're weird. Like, put it up close. Yeah, there you go, dude. That shit looks so good.
Dude. My girlfriend actually used to work at the place that makes it. Well, funny story. I used to live with a friend of mine when I was like 19. And this is the first time I ever had hot wing mac and cheese. And it was like shredded chicken and a giant thing. And she kept we had it in the fridge for like a week and it just kept depleting. And she's like, where the fuck did it all go? And I literally ate it for a week straight every day. Like, it is the best thing I've ever had in my life. And make sandwiches out of it and everything.
That sounds good.
Dude, that sounds flame. I get those like Devour. It's probably not the same, but I get those Devour bowls.
Yeah, they're great.
And the buffalo style mac and cheese one that has like the chicken and shit. Oh, it's so good. That's the one I get every time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fat piece of shit.
Same.
Bro, the amount of weight, the amount of pandemic weight gain, like when we played on Sunday, I was like, damn, everybody got beards and we're fat.
My brains out. Ask Billy. That was a video.
Oh,
on
God.
time.
I should have saved that Snap story.
Yeah, Cody from Gloves Off was patting me on the back while I was puking. It was great. Shout out.
Oh yeah.
But that was great because it was like a hard pat and then more puke and then another pat and then more puke.
Yeah, it was great. So basically, Cody made me puke my brains out. We're gonna blame him.
I love that. I like that. I don't know where Bellator is from. I don't know. I don't even know what to call you.
Billy, just Billy.
All right. I don't know if you and Billy are both from PA, but I'm from the Pittsburgh scene in PA.
Gotcha. I don't think Ripped Away has. We haven't played Pittsburgh, have we?
No, we were supposed to play AJ's venue when it was still just preserving hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
It was with Karma, and something happened. I'm pretty sure this was right before Billy joined the band.
Yeah.
And we were going through like member changes because we've like went through like 3 or 4 guitarists by now.
Yeah.
And Billy's
I might be the longest. That's the funny thing. I might be the longest standing guitar player for Ripped Away.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Not original, but whatever.
I'm like, I apologize if I'm like not very energetic. I got my second shot yesterday, so I'm very.
You're a trooper for even wanting to do this today.
I was told to drink Busch Light superpowers.
But yeah, I got my second shot, so I'm like kind of eh.
Yeah, I feel that.
The Gatorade.
Yeah, you get the
Gatorade.
Moderna shot.
Yeah.
I'm just fat, so I feel like shit all the time. So
I'm fat too. And the thing is the doctor, the guy that gave me my shot, he was like, "Are you a smoker?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." He said, "You're gonna have a hard time breathing." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I woke up and I was like, "Fuck." Like, this is what's happening.
Yeah. Dude, like I don't know what's going on right now, but my allergies are terrible. Like when I woke up this morning, I was pretty positive I wasn't going to be able to talk at all today.
Yeah.
So I'm like very hesitant to get the vaccine because I'm not trying to mix like smoking, not being able to breathe from pollen, and not being able to breathe from like synthetic corona.
Well, the thing is it's the vaccine's good. I'll push it. You know what I mean? Because we got to protect our families and shit like that. Like it's not
For
just
sure.
it's not
It's
just
worth it.
It's not just about me or anybody. It's for my pap, my grandma, my mom, and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I got it, and to feel comfortable at shows. So that's why I also got it.
See, and that's a good way to look at it, because if everybody had your mentality, nobody would be bitching or crying because you're like, hey, I don't feel comfortable until I have my vaccine, and that's fine. But what I don't get is that, see, there's two sides to a coin, and you have all these people who are like, hey, we're going to do shows. If you're not safe, just don't come. That's fine. Nobody's talking shit. Nobody's making fun of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like the people who don't want to participate are so mad about the fact that shows are happening, and like whether it's a fear of missing out or that it wasn't through ID, whatever it is, like an attention thing. I don't understand why they can't just be like the people that are having shows and going to shows and just being like, yeah, I'm not comfortable, so I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have fucking people on Twitter crying about this, crying about that. Like, I got flamed on Twitter when I my first flyer for that show we were playing. And
That was so funny.
And then, of course, now that well, all the people that are saying this, that, and the third, I truly believe just want attention. I don't think anybody is worried about COVID that was talking shit. I understand there are people who are absolutely paranoid, but you got to think too. I was living in Philly for just about a year, and the entire last time I was out, like last year when I was in Philadelphia, at least 4 or 5 of the people that I seen retweeting that flyer and talking shit were people that I seen at house parties and like out doing like with me and my friends, and like, I was skating all the time. I was around people every day. Like I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people were doing the same thing. So I'm like, you're gonna sit there like and you know what I mean? Like go to bars and like drink at this and do these house parties where, if anything, you're closer to people than you would be at a show because you're standing next to people drinking, having a conversation. You don't know where the fuck they've been. Just give it a show. Like people are.
Yeah, like, you got the people that, like, when the news posts vaccine videos on YouTube, I see a trend. I see a trend now.
Right.
Like, people are like, oh, this isn't safe, this is gonna kill you. Okay, bud, look, here's the deal. I wouldn't have even got it if I didn't read shit from the early 70s on this shit until now. Like, I did solid fucking research, and there has been no mishaps in this research. And that's fucking rare. That's the only reason I got it. And then you see people in the comments saying, well, you can get an autoimmune disease and get autism. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm not even going to put my head in that.
I don't even want to entertain the levels of stupidity in that sentence.
Well, that's where I just deleted my Twitter. I was like, I'm not going to say anything, because at the end of the day, I was like, we're still going to play the show. And whoever's going to come is still going to come, regardless of what on the internet. I'm still going to go to shows, regardless of what some fucking asshole on Twitter thinks about me.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these people that say these things, too, are the kids that you never even see at smaller shows to begin with. They're only at schools. They're
the tour package kids.
Right. Yep. And, like, it's just, to me, it's fucking corny. And then these kids will, like, call themselves punk and do this and that. And I'm like, all right, so you're preaching that if you don't follow these guidelines.
They're fucking cops, bro.
Right. I was like... That.
They hate the cops, but they're cops. Fuck them.
Exactly. And then you have people that are, threatening to call the cops on the show, and there was people that were like tagging the National Health Department and all this shit.
What? I didn't know about that.
Like, you guys are claiming you're hardcore kids and punk kids, and you're fucking
That's the corniest shit ever.
I was like, you're being a cop right now. Like, you're being
literally.
But even that aside, I'm like, you're calling yourself a punk kid and stuck in his ass while following the rules. I'm like, that's the exact fucking opposite. I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
you see, my thing is with it is like, like I said, I have old people that are high risk that I worry about, or else I would have been, at shows during the pandemic. But the thing is my family is like, top priority to me, so I'm willing to take that risk and stay in.
Right.
But then you got the people that are like, oh, like, fuck my family, like, all this other shit. And then they ask for sympathy when their family gets COVID and a person dies. Like, what are you what is your problem?
So I had COVID last year. In December of last year, which there's going to be some people that are like, it wasn't in America. Yeah, it was. I had COVID. My mom got it from me. My dad got it from her. And we all felt like dog shit for a little bit. Yeah. And my dad is the high-risk member of my family, and he was sick for the least amount of time. He was only sick for like 5 or 6 days. Yeah. And it was done.
Yeah, that was
so I'm not gonna like downplay the severity, because it is severe in some cases. But life keeps going, and we're gonna have to get back to normal eventually.
Yeah.
And and I told everybody that was pressing us about playing the show, like, I don't want to be a martyr and play martyr, but somebody's got to do it. And if everybody wants to hate us for doing it, we're going to have a great time getting hated on.
Yeah, and like my thing is like, you know, I get that life's got to keep going on and shit, and that's fair. But the thing that last December, that was also the first mutation of it. Now, if you would have got the new shit that's out, like that double mutant variant's wiping people, dude. Like,
for sure.
Like it's, you know, that the double mutant variant's what I worry about. That shit is killing people.
Yeah. And it's like I said, I'll never downplay that severity because it's shitty, and I have friends who have lost family from it, but there's really, like, we just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And just play it for those people that want to play it safe, who have high risk family members. There's no one leaving their house to go and do these things that's going to talk shit on someone for staying in.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the other way around, they feel is justified.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. Like, dude, here's my thing. Any of my people that watch this, don't talk shit on the bands that are playing shows right now. Like, I would have understood if it was in the middle of the pandemic, but this is a little different. We're nearing the end of it. You know, we're nearing the end of it. So leave these guys alone. Leave any small band alone, playing in a small venue. However, I do have a recommendation. Keep playing outside, though, because it is getting warmer.
Sure.
It is, you know what I mean? Just for that.
I'm personally not ready to go back to playing small venue shows yet.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So, like, playing outside shows is fine. Once it gets into smaller spaces, I can see why people would worry. But if it's outside, dude, there's no reason to worry about it.
Yeah, and there was, like, the show we played was literally, like, we played under a pavilion, so if you were cool with it and you wanted to dance and you wanted to get, like, close and watch the show, you had plenty of room to do that. If you didn't, you had an entire park to chill in and just watch and listen.
Yeah.
You could fucking 10.
And the thing people don't understand is that hardcore shows, you can actually mosh social distance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about... I mean, once I do start going back to shows, I'm obviously still going to wear a mask for the first couple.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, I'm going to be chilling. Like, Deicide's coming to Pittsburgh, and I'm fucking stoked.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, don't miss that. Don't miss that.
There's big fest being announced now, and I feel like when that was going on, a lot of people, and it was funny because it was not even, I think it was just a week after Twitter started getting flamed.
Yeah.
And I seen same people sharing, I can't remember what fest it was. It was like a big, like, rock fest. And they were sharing it and talking about how excited they were to go, and I was like,
oh, was that the festival that, like, Slipknot got announced on?
And Mudvayne? Yeah, I think the Mudvayne one's in Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're flaming.
It's the Tour Package kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're for having an outdoor show that realistically isn't gonna surpass more than 300 people. And you know it's a hardcore show. You know how they are. Like, it's just on a smaller scale. But then you're gonna support a fest where people are going to be shoulder to shoulder, mask or not, no matter what. And there's going to be thousands of people. Like, you know what I mean? It's just hypocritical in either way. Like, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
There's no way to justify one or the other. Like, if you're gonna hate on one, you have to hate on the other. And what I thought was interesting now is that Madball show happened, and seeing how many people went out to that is fucking phenomenal. Like, that's awesome. But what I also noticed about that show is I feel like now people are comfortable enough to pick a side and at least openly say, like, yeah, I'm ready for shows. I'm okay with this. That's cool. Because I feel like just a few weeks ago, people weren't ready to come out and be like, yeah, I'd go to a show.
Yeah.
They were so getting flamed. Whereas, like, at least now that bigger show happened, I mean, you know, it's fucking Madball, Wisdom in Chains.
Yeah.
You know, Murphy's Law. Like, all those bands made people, I feel like, on a bigger scale, comfortable enough to come out and be like, you know what, okay, if they're doing it, it's okay. And that's fine. But, like, I'm just happy that show happened because I feel like it'll make a lot of other people more comfortable about their opinions in the first place, rather than waiting for some, like, God to come down and be like, yeah, this is safe again. This is cool again. Like, I think big problem right now is a lot of people are so afraid to have their own opinions because of the internet.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with this podcast. We are completely unfucking filtered. Like, we do not care. So, but here's the thing with New York, though. I have a buddy, he's in the New York hardcore scene, and he had to show his vaccination card at the door.
Okay. So,
that's the thing. And here's how I feel about that. If it's an outside show, you shouldn't require that. But if it's indoors like that, you know, I feel I'm kind of mixed on it. But there's people that are hesitant to get it. And my thing is I get that, you know. But you got to also think, we're in a different time now than the fucking 1940s.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So things are going to, medicines and shit are going to be produced quicker and faster each year.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I get why people are worried about it, but they need to get out of that old school mindset. Because we're in a new fucking generation of people.
Right.
So science has definitely evolved. You know what I mean? I follow that.
I feel like the older people too, you know, at least a lot of my old heads and like other people that I've seen posting about it, it seems like the older people are in agreement with a lot of, I guess, like I'll say people in like their mid-20s and whatnot. I feel like a lot of people that are at least 30 and up, the majority of them are like, you know what, I'm willing to take this risk, and they understand that it's their own risk, and they're either going to go or not go and don't have much to say other than that.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's like that like newer crowd of like 18 to like early 20s of kids. How fucking dare you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And like, I don't really know. Like, and that's why to me it looks like an attention thing. It's like, this will make me look like a great person. This will make me look like I stand for something. Just like the same people who are like ACAB this, that, da 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 da, but didn't go to any BLM rallies, didn't do anything, didn't donate any money, didn't help they could, other than post that status every time they had nothing else to say on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just to get
Well, it's like there's who is it? There's a comedian. He's on SNL. Can't think of who. John Mulaney. Yeah. He's like, or no, it's not John Mulaney. It's somebody else. Regardless, every time anything in the world happens, and you see people posting about it but not actually doing anything about it, he says, that's just them saying, hey, don't forget about me today. And it's true. It's literally true. Anytime something important is going on and somebody wants to hop on Twitter, hop on Facebook, try and drum up a shit ton of sympathy, all they're looking for is affirmation from their peers, and they're just trying to stay relevant and stay in the conversation.
Exactly.
It's annoying.
It's corny. It sucks that there are so many people involved in, like, you know, a hardcore music scene or local music scene because of it being, you know, I don't want to sit here and downplay like it's a small thing that nobody knows about, but it's obviously not on scale as like a tour package concert every time. Like, you know, there's shows, like, especially, you know, being from like Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, there's shows where you'll see 20 kids, and like, and that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people say it does have a huge impact, and like a lot of kids that I feel like are newer to shows are gonna look at this shit online and be like, well, should I listen to this person or that person? And this guy's been around for 25 years, so I should definitely listen to him. But this kid said that old guy sucks, so I don't know who to listen to. And like, you just
listen to Rick to Life. Whatever he has to say, listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it sucks because I feel like a lot of people, or I don't want to say a lot, but some people are definitely gonna kind of look at it and quickly see those things and be like, well, I don't even want to go near this or these people because this is
volatile.
Right, and it's just like it shouldn't be that way. Like, everybody's gonna have different opinions, and you know, at the end of the day, like, it's about the fucking music and meeting new people and having a good time. And I feel like it's getting to a point to like where everybody wants to control some part of something that's underground, and that's just not underground. Like, it's not supposed to control.
Honestly, I'm kind of like really into the whole like hosting shows and booking bands and stuff and just spreading by word of mouth and not making it this whole internet thing, popularity contest.
Exactly.
You don't get the arbitrary numbers on Facebook events where it says like 300 people are going and only 40 show up because a bunch of people wanted to stay up to date on the Facebook page. And like, it also makes these kids earn a place in hardcore, which they don't. And those kids will eventually get weeded out regardless, but like seeing people post about that Wisdom in Chains show and like a bunch of kids didn't even know it happened, and it's like, maybe you're not paying enough attention. Maybe you're in the scene for the wrong reasons. If you were in it for the right reasons, you would have known about it.
My thing,
that show was playing everywhere.
I've been in the hardcore scene for a short amount of time. I've been a deathcore kid for as long as I can remember. And the thing is like, the hardcore scene and the deathcore scene are a little different from each other. Like, you'll see the differences. And what I like about both is they both don't give a fuck. You see what I mean? Now, me, I take precautions with myself, but that's because I'm high risk as well. When it comes to COVID, like, I'm scared as fuck to get it. Like, if I get it, I could potentially die. Like, that is no joke.
Dude, it's brutal. I mean, like, like I said, I didn't have, like, the really bad version, but what I did have, it was brutal. And I couldn't taste or smell for, like, 3 months afterwards. It was awful.
Yeah. So, like, people that take this seriously, good for them. But like you guys said, life needs to keep going forward. And here's the thing, is I think by September, August, earliest, whatever, I'll see full-fledged shows coming back again.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And that's if certain people will quit doing certain people-related things. And that's
Yeah, and the fact that people were even tagging, like, the Department of Health and, like, going to that extent, or, like, trying to call the cops, I'm like, how the fuck did you guys find your way into any kind of...
For real, you're a fucking snitch.
Right, because I'm like, deathcore, hardcore, like, at the end of the day, like, I feel like everybody is in a mutual agreement on, like, not to do shit like that. Like, especially, like, and I've been very vocal about a lot of things just because, like, people talk shit, like, any chance they can and any time they can, and if it's going to benefit them, they're going to do it. That's just how a lot of people are. And I've always preached the fact that, like, if you're not willing to throw hands over it, it doesn't fucking matter, and you should just shut the fuck up.
5 rounds of bare-knuckle boxing.
Right, well, I see shit. I can go on Facebook right now. I guarantee it'll take me 5 minutes to see something that I don't fucking like, or some kid that I can't stand posting some shit that I know he doesn't live by. I'm not going to sit there and argue with him about it. Like, it's just not the point. Like, because it's like, if I don't agree with your opinion, I'm not going to punch you in the face over it. You know what I mean? So I don't care enough to argue about it. But obviously, if you're doing some fucked up shit that you deserve to get punched in the face over, you're going to get punched in the fucking face. And that's what I mean about kids, is I feel like they've just never been in any kind of physical altercation or even, had a face-to-face, argument or anything outside of the internet. A lot of kids.
You learn a lot about who you are as a person the first time you get punched in the face.
The thing
I don't know if I can trust you if you haven't.
The thing is I boxed for 12 years. All right, I took an ass beating constantly for 12 years. You learn a lot about yourself when you get your fucking ass beat.
Exactly.
My mom smacked me in the mouth as a kid. You learn a lot from that too. That's when you first realize who the fuck you are.
Oh yeah, it's get in or get out.
And you don't even be. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, I'm a fucking tough guy. I fight everybody," because it's not even like that. It's just a point of all these kids that are talking shit, like, have never had any kind of repercussion, and that's the issue, and that's why a lot of these people are the way they are. Is because I think they could say whatever the fuck they're gonna say and have no repercussions from it. They think that they could say, like, "Oh, that show's fucked up," then 6 months on the road, show face, and if somebody has an issue with them or punches them in the face, then they'll go cry on the internet and be like, "I got jumped at the show and I got beat up at the show," and it's just like, no, you caused that. Like, it's not like somebody just looked at you in the middle of a show and said, "Fuck this kid, I don't like his fucking skinny jeans."
Well, it's very, very rare for, like, somebody to just literally get stomped out for no reason.
Let's be real. Depending on the hardcore show, though, if we're talking beatdown, you're prepared to fucking walk in there and get your shit kicked in.
And that's the thing, though, is you get worked over at a beatdown show, it's not because they don't like you. They're testing you.
Yeah.
You get worked over because they're going to see if you're going to come back. If you come back, maybe you're worth keeping around. If you don't come back, no sweat.
Like, I saw Signs of the Swarm. You guys are from PA, so you guys should know who they are.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Dave, there was a fucking big-ass fight in the fucking pit during Signs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, if you can't take a fucking punch, get the fuck out of this venue right now.
And that's cool, because that's like, they're like a pretty not mainstream, but like a pretty well-known deathcore band.
Yeah.
And a lot of those dudes that are like, run like the Warped Tour and the big venue circuit don't like that shit.
Yeah.
And they'll love to play the victim on that kind of thing. So, like, I respect that.
Some people don't realize that it is not only being able to smell is legit dangerous. People joke about that symptom/problem, but even if it's your only symptom, it can kill you.
Dude, it was terrifying. It was legitimately terrifying when I lost my sense of smell. And it's still not 100%.
From this new variant that's out can fuck with your brain.
Ugh.
Like, it fucks with your brain. And it's scary.
Yeah, not a fan.
I'm not a fan either.
I will get vaccinated, no doubt. Like once all the pollen and like the season change calms down and I can start breathing normally again, I will absolutely be doing it. But right now, waking up at like 4 a.m. having an allergy attack, I can't afford to be also sick as shit.
Yeah, and that's fair. And the thing is most bands now are getting vaccinated. Like, you've seen these fucking...
That's another thing.
You've seen these band people that are like, oh, I'm not getting vaccinated because Trump told me not to. Now look at him. Now look at him. Got my second shot of Moderna today, guys. Make sure you guys get vaccinated. like, here's the deal, sport. I planned on it a year and a half ago. Like,
and that's the crazy thing about, like, people getting vaccinated, too, is, like...
Shows are coming back so quick.
No one's gonna talk shit on you. Like, no one that is vaccinated is gonna get pissed off that you're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
But people that are super, like, against vaccination will call you every name in the book for getting a vaccine. And it's like, again, dude, like, who cares? I mean, that's pretty much what this entire conversation can be boiled down to is, who cares?
Yeah.
Just live your life. Because everyone else is gonna live theirs.
Like...
And that... too, like, I'll tell you straight up, I am 100% not getting a vaccine unless I'm forced to get one. But I've never once made even a fucking comment to any of my friends or anybody about wanting to get a vaccine or getting a vaccine. Almost everybody at work got their vaccine. And, like, you know, every day on Instagram I see somebody post their vaccine card. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's not me, so it doesn't fucking matter. Which is why I can't understand why I can have that mentality. But people who are getting vaccinated and doing this and a third, and now I'm not saying every person that gets vaccinated feels this way, but they see a show flyer or something going on and they're like, that's not okay. Because what I don't understand is, like, if you're vaccinated and I'm not, shouldn't I be the one that should be scared? Like, granted, like, I'm assuming the vaccine's not 100% because, to be honest with you, I'm following all of this stuff.
I can just say, can I make a pointer real quick? It's actually higher in percentage than the flu one. Because it's 95% effective.
So that's my thing. So, like, let's say everybody just shuts the fuck up and goes to shows or stays home or whatever. But let's say there's 3 people around me that are vaccinated and I'm not. Shouldn't I be the one that's worried in the first place? Like, if you got the vaccine, what the fuck are you even worried about?
Yeah.
Because I need any kind of protection.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't understand that about people who are like, what was the point of you getting the vaccine if you're still, you know, just gonna, you know, if like I said, like,
I don't agree with people like that, man. Like, that's not cool.
It doesn't make sense. Like I can't think of any other reason than people doing the things that they do, like bashing the shows and like this, that, and the third, other than they want attention. They're like, hey, look at me, I'm different. Hey, look at me, I called out fucking Hardcore Fan 5000 on fucking Twitter, and I'm Billy Badass. MySpace Queen 46 said, if you don't have a vaccine, you're a scumbag. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, like,
that's my new Twitter name.
Like, my thing is I see these people that are fucking saying, like, false information and shit about it, and that's gonna make people hesitant. And, like, that's, like, I get it, you know, everybody has their own opinion on it, and that's fine. But say that there's people that really want to get it, and they go and read Facebook or fucking, well, Twitter's a pretty even place if you look in the right spaces. Your best bet for information would actually fucking read articles and go to Reddit.
Reddit more than anything. If you can find articles that are published from outside the United States, that's even better.
Yeah, so...
That Reddit became, like, when I was in high school, being, like, the most ridiculous, like, fucking shit that you could find.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Reddit was
the shit.
The spawn of, like, that's where the internet went once people got tired of the internet.
Yes.
And now somehow it's the voice of reason.
Yeah. And you read YouTube comments and you got these people in there that are fucking religious and they're fucking anti-vaxxers. Like, there's just sometimes I want to comment and say, if I were to walk into your kid's classroom and sneeze, he'd fucking die. But I restrained myself from doing that. Because...
Right.
But
dude, YouTube comments are awful.
Dude, they really are. Like, I saw one, I'm not shitting you, that said, Jesus Christ told me that Trump is going to get reelected.
That's a thing. QAnon believes that he is like the second coming of Jesus Christ, and that blows my fucking mind.
It blows mine too.
Because, like, first off, Jesus didn't do cocaine, and there's no way you can tell me that Donald Trump didn't do a shit ton of cocaine.
You know?
But then again, maybe Jesus did cocaine. I don't know.
Maybe he did. I mean, you know, the Virgin Mary's still getting away with being a virgin fucking 2,000 years later, so who the fuck knows what this man did?
Virgin Gate.
People arguing about, like, I don't touch political things at all. Like, I really don't anymore.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Because
you're over it.
People that are gonna say this, and I watched it today, and this, that, and the third, and I did my research. But at the end of the day, you're only getting told what they want you to know. I don't care who you are. You don't know what's going on other than what you're told. I don't care if you went on the fucking dark web and found some article about Area 51 at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I bought a package from the dark web from Area 51, so I know, brother.
Like, you only know what they want you to know. There's always going to be higher powers that are
lying.
That's one of those things. It is what it is. Like, you know.
And, you know, I don't believe the news. I don't even watch the fucking news no more. You know where I get
absolutely not.
I get my information for this shit from actual scientific articles, bro. Like all the scientific articles that I have read are public record. Like most of the shit on mRNA is public record. Most of the shit that they did for the Tesla coils back when fucking Nikola Tesla was alive is public record. All that shit is public record. Like, the shit that they teach you in school is not shit that you're ever going to use again in your life. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to use algebra sitting at a fucking stop sign.
Yeah, I mean, I do. That was my thing, and I'm so happy I ended up where I did, because I could not do algebra for shit.
You guys want to know something? I dropped out of school. Because
you better trade.
I'm 18, okay? So here's the deal. I dropped out of school at 16, right? But here's why. I was treated unfairly, okay? And I'm not going to put up with it. And since I can't punch the dean in the face, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make it easy on this guy. I'm going to just leave. Because I was in the dean's office 3 to 4 times a day. Like, I threw a tampon at some kid for talking shit. Don't ask where I got the tampon. Because I'm not going to tell you where I got it.
The thing about school is... school's always going to be there. Yeah. And if it ain't right for you right now, then it ain't right for you.
Yeah.
And if you decide 5 years, 6 years down the line that you want to get your GED and then you want to go to college, it's still there. So for anyone that wants to, like, make you feel any type of way about it, fuck it.
No,
if you want to do something with it, you're going to do something with it. If you're not. It's none of their business.
My mom is the one who fucking signed the papers for me to drop out of school. She was tired of it. Like, she was tired of the school calling her 3 or 4 times a day for stupid shit. Like, I'm sorry. To the kid that fucking was picking on me, you're lucky it wasn't used, motherfucker, because I would have threw a used one at you. And I could have easily gotten one.
Used tape.
High school's a crazy time, to say the least.
High school's bad for a lot of kids. I mean, you know, when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, you know, I went through fucking hell. You know, I used to not go to school all the time and force my mom not to make me go, and I would just refuse. Because, you know, I went through my stage of getting bullied and getting beat up and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, lucky enough, you know, I met people through skateboarding. I started skating, and then I made friends, and then honestly, I don't even think it was till I was 16 where I really started fighting back and just flipping the fuck out. And then I was like, you know what? I was fortunate enough. I got in this program called Co-op, and then I got a job at a plumbing place when I was 16. That for 2 years until I graduated. So I only had to do I had to do 4 classes at school, and then the rest of it I went to work, and I got paid while I was at work. So that was cool. But honestly, looking back on it, if I didn't get into that program, I don't think I would have made it through high school.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, granted, it wasn't until 11th grade when things were already getting better anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a mindset going into 11th grade where I was like, I don't fucking care about this. And it wasn't, you know, bullying aside, because, like I said, that was pretty much over by 11th grade. I was just like, I don't think I'm going to use any of these skills. And once I was, like, sitting in the classroom, like, I have no interest in this. This isn't going to help me in my future.
Yeah.
Fuck am I here? I'm not, like... I hate wasting fucking time. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
So me sitting there, I was like, I'm wasting my fucking time. But being able to do that co-op program, I was like, all right, I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to learn some shit, or at least I'm gonna make money out of it. Granted, now I have nothing to do with plumbing, but at least I was in that environment. I learned something, and it was just something. Either way, like I made money at the time. That's look at it. Whereas like I feel like if a lot of kids looked in that direction and like got into like a Votech thing or things like that, it'd be a lot better, especially for somebody like you. Like maybe that would have made you be like, all right, fuck all these kids.
Ohio didn't have that, and the thing with me is I was homeschooled from 9th until 10th grade. Okay, so I passed my 9th grade year straight A's because I was homeschooled. Nobody was fucking with me. I didn't have nobody hassling me to do it. I just got up and did it and got it done. Go into 10th grade, and my school's like, yo, dude, you're a freshman, and you got to take some 8th grade classes. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that blows dick.
So, you know, and the thing is I tell people, I don't disrespect blue-collar workers. I don't disrespect doctors. But that's just not shit that I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep this podcast going for as long as I can. Because even though we're growing at a slow pace, we're growing at a pace. And I feel like in a year's time, this could only get better, if you see what I mean.
Well, yeah, and what our generation, or I guess more or less your generation, the internet is such a powerful thing. Like, I mean, you got fucking 12-year-olds making millions off of playing fucking Fortnite. Like, you don't have to, I'm not saying, like, if you know, just because you got to school, you got to go do what I do.
Yeah.
Or a blue-collar work, because you don't. You could sit at home making podcasts, streaming, be funny on the internet. You can make one YouTube video, and you might be a fucking millionaire in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like the internet, especially you being 18 years old, you have so much time to figure things out and really look at like what you want to do with your life. That it's just, the best advice I can give you, because I'm gonna be 24 in 2 weeks, is to just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I found out I was having a kid at 18, at your age, so I was very quickly transitioned into like, oh shit, I have to provide for somebody else. I have to figure my life out right now. And granted, it took me, you know, I didn't do that overnight. Like, and Billy could vouch for that. I spent a couple weeks doing nothing but going to shows and couch surfing. And I always worked jobs, but I jumped from job to job. And then I want to say right before 2020, there was like a 6 months before 2020, and then 2020 starting out that I was really just fucking lost, like completely lost. I was like, I don't know what I want to do, because I was stuck working these warehouse jobs that I didn't want. And I was literally just lost in life. Like, as corny as that sounds, like that's where I was at. Like, I was like, I have my son. Like, everything was always paid for him, and like I still make sure I seen him. But it's just very hard to balance your life when you have responsibilities and deal with that pressure.
Yeah.
But you're gonna, and it kind of took me hitting rock bottom to figure it out. But looking back on it now, I think my biggest issue was stressing about it so much and not enjoying my years more, in a sense of like, I'm young, I'll figure it out, I'll get to where I want to go. Instead of like, I was so hard on myself for so long that it ultimately just fucking destroyed me.
Yeah, and here's something I want to tell my viewers real quick, and even you guys. One thing that I'm going to say is if you stay positive, bro, good things will happen. Like, I'm not a fucking hippie, bro. I don't do ketamine and fucking hula hoop. Like, I'm being real. You don't, if you stress about the future, bro, it's just going to drag you down. You think about the past, you're going to get sad. But you stay right in the fucking middle, bro. Like, you will go further in life. Like, obviously, you gotta, you know what I mean, sidetrack from the middle a little bit. But if you stay mainly in the middle and keep that middle track mindset of like, yo, good things are gonna come, you gotta give it time. And that's the thing. And here's the other thing I want to talk about. You're 24, okay? I lost somebody that just turned 24 back in January. So she didn't get to live her life at all. My thing for you is, man, is live it.
Right.
You know,
everybody gets caught up in trying to future plan, and they tend to forget about living right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we get so lost.
Yeah, like me, I don't, like, well, I care where I end up. You know what I mean? But as of right now, I didn't get to be a kid growing up. Like, I had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
So my mom is like, listen, you're 18 now. Be a fucking kid. All right? You can live here. It don't matter. I'm not going to force you to move out. Like, enjoy as much time as you can for as long as you can.
I think that's the weird thing about, like, because growing up, I got bullied a shit ton, too.
I did, too.
Similar to Clemo, like, probably 16 was when I started fighting back. I'm also one of the weird cases of, like, I'm thankful for getting bullied because it taught me how to fight. It taught me how to survive. To the extent that it happened, maybe not, but whatever. But when you're bullied growing up and you're like bullied hard and like you find out young that you have suffer from like depression or anxiety or some kind of mental illness, you get robbed of your childhood.
Yeah.
And when you get 18, 19, 20 years old and you're starting to think better about yourself or your mental health is starting to improve in any way, all of a sudden you're like ready to be a kid again, but the world is telling you that you're not a kid anymore, and it's confusing.
Yeah.
And like what Clemo said, I met Clemo when you were like what, 20, 19, 20 years old?
Yeah, I think I was just shy of 19.
And we used to make jokes that Clemo only got girlfriends so he'd have a place to sleep. So seeing him now is like, it's nuts. The kid's grown up so much, and like I have so many friends that I can say that about. I can say that about myself. So to people that are kind of freaking out and like going through that identity crisis and life crisis, just one thing at a time. It's all you can do. As long as you're staying positive, staying healthy, and not hurting other people in your endeavors, you'll make it through. And like, I'm 26, and I feel old as shit at 26, which is funny because my boy Zach's watching. He's an old man, and we always make fun of him for it. 26, I feel like an old man. I've barely even lived.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gone through some shit, and I still have 50, maybe, God willing, 50, 60 more years left. Who knows?
Well,
I could die tomorrow.
Well, what the thing is like tomorrow, and especially in this time, like back in like 1800s, tomorrow really wasn't promised. But like I tell people these days, like, dude, if you go to bed in the mindset that you're gonna wake up tomorrow, like, you never know when you're gonna die, man. So you keep that mindset that you're gonna wake up tomorrow, bro. Chances are you're gonna wake up. You feel me?
Right.
As long as you're good with who you are when you go to bed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. If you can go to bed every night and say that you're proud of who you are, happy with who you are, and you're proud of the things you've done, it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can, like me personally, and I mean, can't honestly say that I'm at that place yet, but I'm working towards that place. And once I am, if I die tomorrow, okay, I did what I did, and I did what I could.
Yeah.
What I do, and I just want to say before it slips my mind again, is the way the internet is now, especially with crucifying people over the smallest things, is it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with making a mistake as long as you own up to it and take responsibility for doing it. And, like, you know what? You might fuck up so bad that somebody has to punch you in the face for it, or you might fuck up so bad to where it's just like, hey, that's not a big deal. It is what it is. At least you apologized or owned up to it, and you're going to better yourself. Where I feel like a lot of people see things on the internet now where they're like, we're going to crucify you for not being a perfect fucking person, and that's just not okay, because you're applying so much pressure to people that they're afraid to fuck up at all. So they're just not going to say anything, try anything new.
Yeah. See, my thing is I don't think about when I'm going to die. You know what I mean? Because there's no point. If you think about it, you're just going to end up killing yourself anyway with stress.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I try not to be as stressed as possible, because stress is the most silent killer in the fucking world.
Absolutely.
So, like, I try not to stay stressed, and I tell my friends this too, because, you know, they're planning their life out and everything, and that's fucking awesome. But, dude, you have to... Hey, Kai, what's going on? You also have to realize that if you plan, like me, if I plan something out in one bad thing, because I have, like, I'm very OCD, okay, like, I'm really bad with it. So if I plan to go to college to be a fucking college professor, right? And through that time, I have one slip up through that whole plan. My brain's like, all right, you're fucking done. Find something else to do.
Right. No, that makes...
It's unorganized for me.
Am I able to comment on this?
See what? Oh, if you're on, you're talking about the Twitch stream? Yeah, if you're on the Twitch stream, like, I have the feed up right next to me so I can see what people are saying.
How do I do that?
Here, I can send it to him.
But no, I agree with that, and that's a lot. That's what my girlfriend is. Like, if everything's got to be planned and timed out and mapped out, or it's just not gonna work. And I'm the opposite. I'm a very like the only thing I am good on is time. I'm very good with time. I'm like, all right, if I gotta be here at this time or get all this to go, that's when it's gonna go down. But she's very like, I need to know a week ahead of time. So it's
I'm the same way.
right. I'm very understanding of people like that now because I'm like, oh, I get it. Because it's like, if I come home from work and I'm like, oh, hey, we're gonna go do this right now, like it triggers her anxiety, and it took me a long time to understand, like, oh, that like people have different triggers than I do. Like, you know what I mean? Me and her have the same mental disabilities. Or
Dude,
disorder, what you wanna call it. But
hard suffering from mental illnesses,
dude, I
and
know.
trying to also be considerate of somebody else's.
Like,
it's so hard.
Like, for me, I have 6 of them. I'm BPD, I'm bipolar, I have post PTSD, fucking panic disorder. Dude, and they all mellow themselves out. That's how many I have. I don't even need medication. I'm just fucking cruising. Because they're all just balancing each other.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, if someone pisses you off, they're going to know about it. But with me having ADHD as well, I'm a very brutally honest person. And that has gotten me punched in the face more times than I've ever been comfortable with.
That's a quick way to learn your lesson, though.
But
my girlfriend to kill me all the time because I get it kicks in and I'm just like, yeah.
Like,
we're gonna just the whole fucking house. I'm gonna do a flip on the couch. I'm gonna fucking lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, Clemo drinking is a good time.
like
until it's not.
Yeah.
And you'll know when it's not anymore.
Like, my thing is I'm brutally honest. So we had a guy on a couple episodes ago, and he had posted this thing, and the first thing I did right off the rip within the first 5 minutes, why the fuck are you saying this about people?
Right.
Within the first 5 minutes of the podcast, and he's like, wait, what? And I was like, listen, dude, why are you saying this shit about people?
Well, that's good, too, because, you know, if you don't take your own podcast seriously and, like, let people do disrespectful things and bad things, and, you know, nobody's going to take it serious, and, like, you know, looking at you, like, even you messaging me, I'm like, all right, this is a young kid starting up a podcast. To me, that's the coolest thing in the world. Where, like, other people have, like, a God complex, and you're like, who the fuck is this kid? And I'm like, you could have been that kid 7 years ago. Like, what? You know what I mean?
People just need to stop taking life so fucking seriously.
Dude, I've never taken it serious.
When
like,
somebody looks at, like, a small podcast and they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's not really going to do anything for me.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? I came on because I wanted to talk about the band. I wanted to bullshit about random stuff and enjoy myself.
Yeah. Like, we did a interview with Bro Job. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
Hunter Madison stopped through the fucking stream, right?
That's cool.
I fucking texted him. He's like $200. I was like,
what?
You're not supposed to pay for interviews, dog.
Yeah.
That's $200 for who?
For the lead singer of Hunt the Dinosaur. He was gonna charge me $200. Now here's the thing. You guys had a childhood, I'm assuming, so you guys know who Jared Dines is, right?
Yeah.
We had Austin Dick.
He wasn't my childhood. He was my early 20s.
We had Austin Dickey on here, and I didn't pay a dime.
That's cool. He's a nice dude.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice dude.
He is. He's funny as fuck.
That's the thing. It's just all about who you are, and like, you know, I've learned very quickly that, you know, some people just suck and some people just don't. Like, I've met people, you know, that are in huge bands or like have a lot of money, like, and they're the nice people in the world. And I've met people in the same token that have 300 followers on their Facebook bands page, and they're the biggest pieces of shit I've ever met in my life. So,
that's the thing is I told Chandler, like, because I'm planning on starting a band. You know, we're beat down hardcore. I got the name picked out and everything. The only problem I'm having right now is with members. And I told.
Are you doing vocals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna struggle.
And
as a vocalist, it's really, really hard to find members.
And
I just got to deal with Billy for the rest of my life, so there's that.
And Clemo can't kickflip, and I have to be all right with that somehow.
And so, you know, I was talking about it, and I was like, "Yo, we're calling it Hit for Hire. Like, you know, we got shit planned. You know what I mean? I don't have anything written because I don't have a fucking guitarist or anything. So I'm just kind of sitting here cruising. And you know what I mean?
The best thing that I can suggest to you is be what you need. I needed to learn how to demo stuff from one of my bands, so I started recording. We needed to be able to do merch, so I started doing a little bit of graphic design. I hated the way one of my old guitar players was writing music, so I started writing guitar.
Mhm.
which snowballed into me eventually playing guitar for bands. But
I tried the guitar, and my ADHD said no, so I just kept calling Billy until he said yes.
See, I have a friend, right? He's practicing vocals, and here's how I learned. And it's not the best way to learn, but like I'm gonna say it to people anyway. He was like, "How does this sound?" I was like, "It sounds like complete and total fucking garbage. Never fucking disrespect Lamb of God like that again." And he was like, "What is your problem, bro? Like, where's the self-confidence?" I was like, "Here's the deal, bud. I'm gonna be real with you. You've only been doing them for 6 months. What are you doing? Doing Lamb of God songs with a 6-month... Like, I don't understand. Like, I've been doing them for...
He's trying to run before he learned how to walk.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, bro, like, I'm still learning how to hit the breakdown in fucking Heretic Prevails by Shadow of Intent. And I'm this close to hitting it. And that's 2 years of fucking vocal lessons.
Yeah, dude, it's weird, like, being, like, playing hardcore, because I mean, I pretty much do my vocals the same way Clemo does. I just yell as loud as I fucking can.
Yeah.
Without hurting myself too bad.
Hardcore is definitely a different thing. Like me, I practice the Varials when I'm practicing hardcore. I practice to Watcher. They're a PA band. They're pretty sick.
Watcher's cool.
Shout out Watcher, bro.
I mean, dude, Varials is PA. I graduated with half that band.
Isn't Watcher Bailey's other band?
Yep.
Watcher?
Yeah.
1 sec.
Bailey Olinger?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I'm almost positive Bailey's in Watcher.
Bailey's in Watcher.
He is?
Yeah.
Alright, so Bailey's also in Fool's Game. That's the other band that I do vocals for.
Yeah.
Shout out Watcher.
Oh.
That's sick.
Shout out Watcher. Shout out Bailey, because Bailey...
Shout out Bailey as a person. He's the best.
Dude,
Yes.
Bailey, really, I'm not kidding. I've never met somebody in my life that could just be
He's so talented.
Yeah.
He's great vocals. He's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
He how to play drums now. But so when the Fool's Game thing happened, I'm not kidding. I was like, yo, let's start like a fast hardcore band. And he's like, all right, this is what I want to do. Send me a couple bands. I sent him a couple bands. And he literally had that 4-song demo. He had the songs back to me in less than 2 weeks. And I was
Dude,
like,
I'm so mad that you guys took such a good name for a band that you're barely ever gonna put time into.
Well, the thing with Fool's Game is, so it's 2 of the members from Shackled and then Bailey.
Shackled's dope.
Yeah, we're so gung-ho about, like, doing Fool's Game, and we still are, but, like, our thing for that is, like, we're all doing other bands, because COVID, like, ruined it. We were going to do the Unity Barbecue, the demo just came out, and now we're just kind of, like, I'm hoping, and, like, I'm pretty sure we're still on the same page where when shows come back, we're going to make music again. But I feel like until shows are back, there's no drive to really do it, only because we all have bands. Like, clearly, like, Shackled still doing their thing. I don't know if they're recording right now, but I know they're playing a show next weekend in New York, and they're doing stuff. And then Bailey's in, like, fucking 4 other bands. There's a new out called Flames of Betrayal, and
Yeah.
a lot of
Shit's
people,
gonna rip.
I love it. He sent me. So here's the thing: I'm not huge into metalcore anymore. As much
I
as used
hate.
to.
I listen. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna just step in real quick. New metalcore sucks fucking donkey balls.
Exactly. And
Now,
so,
what aspect of new metalcore don't you like?
Everything about it. It's too like. Here's the thing. I'm not a metal elitist or nothing like that. I'm so in the old school mindset that it's unreal. Like new Whitechapel for me, I don't like it. New fucking Suicide Silence is complete garbage, and I'll never like it. That shit's fucking butthole.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all deathcore though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I never.
I'm talking Kill Switch. I love Kill Switch. I'm in the old school mindset. So like Kill Switch, Trivium, fucking Lamb of God. I'll
Bro,
listen
that
to
new Kill Switch song though that they put out with
That-
Howard
that shit was
was
sick.
so good.
It was sick.
So good.
It was sick. Howard's vocals make me go fully erect every
Yeah.
time I hear him.
I think you'll definitely like Bailey's new band, and only because, like, when I started going to shows, obviously, like, and not everybody, but at least for me, it was all metalcore shows for like the first 2 or 3 years, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm never gonna discredit that because there's still like a lot of metalcore, deathcore bands that I'm into. But this Flames of
That's how I
Betrayal,
met Clemo. He liked my old metalcore band.
listening to that demo or EP, whatever you want to call it, made me feel like I was walking into the Underwood Skate Park show in Scranton. Like, it made me feel like I was like, it's just that vibe of like that, like.
If you like old school like Poison the Well metalcore, you will like Flames of Betrayal.
Okay. I'll definitely
Yeah.
have to check them out then. But my thing is like I like some new stuff like Ice Nine Kills. You know, they're dope. I saw them live. Spirit Box is good. I like Spirit Box, but the other shit I just can't get behind it.
Yeah, there's this really weird metalcore is such a broad spectrum because like there's that end and then there's like the end that's like way much closer, but closer to hardcore.
Yeah.
And a lot of the hardcore dudes, and that's more in the spectrum of like where Bailey likes to write his metalcore.
Yeah, so my thing
And that's
is
where you get like bands like Boundaries.
I put Knocked Loose in their own fucking subcategory. I put them in hardcore metalcore.
Yeah, they're like a weird amalgam of like so many different genres. 'Cause there's like some Crowbar influence, there's some old death metal influence.
And I don't care who you are or what you like, but I will say their newest record is phenomenal. Like that record, I don't know what it is.
Who, Knocked Loose?
Yeah,
Dude, that shit's flame.
Dude, it's absolutely insane. But I was so happy because I was super excited for that record, and I wasn't even listening to Knocked Loose a lot at the time when that record was coming out. But I just kind of like, to me, like where they're at now as a band, that's the record that's really like, all right, we're selling out now, or we're gonna do this and change it up and like do what we want to do. And I really do feel like that record was 110% what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
like,
I want to like that record so bad, but I just can't.
Can we talk about how the Absolute album by Kubla Khan was wrote in a week and recorded in 3 days? Can we please?
That band, they rip.
That band fucks, dude.
And they're like some of the nicest guys ever too.
I love Matt. Matt's so cool.
Yeah.
That band was my gateway to heavy music, and that's still one band. Like it's funny because me and Jack from No Option, we seen them at Reverb in Reading, and I'll never forget it because like a lot of hardcore kids are like, oh, whatever about metalcore, like we'll try to like play it off like they never went to a metalcore show.
Oh, I've been to a couple of them.
I'll never forget, like me and Jack were bullshit, and he's like, yo, Kublai Khan's about to play. We going? I was like, you fucking serious? I was like, you're down with Kublai Khan? Like, let's fucking go. And, like, we're mom. It was just cool because I love being around people who like aren't afraid to be like, oh yeah, I like this band from back when I was like 16 or whatever. Because I know a lot of people who are fucking weird about it. They'll act like they're like, yeah, I've been listening to Madball since I was 9.5.
Yeah, you get here's your +5 hardcore points. Congrats, bro.
No, you weren't. Like everybody knows you weren't. Like you spent $400 on a fucking t-shirt. Like we know that. Like that's fine.
It's these kids that spend more time on the merch swap Facebook page than they do going to shows.
My thing is if I could have seen Build Upon Frustration live, I would have. But here's the thing, they're not around no more. So I gotta pay reseller prices for their merch because they aren't around anymore.
I somehow managed to find my way. Have you ever heard of Adestria?
No.
They were an old metalcore band from Cali. In like 2010, 2011, and I somehow managed to find my way onto their merch store, and they had like 3 t-shirts left in the inventory, one of which was my size, and I bought that shit for like $4, and I was so happy.
Like,
Jeez.
Build Upon Frustration is like old school beatdown, and like I
love that band.
Me too. And since we're both from PA, we both know how the PA scene is when it comes to beatdown and hardcore.
Yeah, especially like your area, like the Pittsburgh scene, the beatdown pedigree up there is ridiculous.
Like, I told Chandler, like, we actually beat the living piss out of each other, and we're like, yo, I hope you have a good day, bud. Leaving with like broken bones and shit. Like,
yeah,
we're all cool.
If Greenfield Mike has had his hand in any of those bands, they're probably really good.
Enemy Mind, especially Enemy Mind
is nuts. One-on-One is nuts. Ten of Swords is nuts. Like, and even like the dudes that play in Enemy Mind are also the guys that play in No Reason to Live, and No Reason to Live is like probably one of my favorite bands.
The Pittsburgh area is just so diverse when it comes to their metal community. So like,
yeah,
you got the fucking metalcore kids, you got the deathcore kids, and you got the hardcore kids. And one thing I've noticed about the hardcore and deathcore scene is we kind of separate ourselves from the metalcore kids. Like, we're no push moshing at a fucking hardcore show. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
I don't know, like, any metalcore or deathcore bands, really. The only band that I know is, like, Wind Chimes, and that's because I know the guys in Wind Chimes.
Wind Chimes is dope as fuck.
Those dudes are cool as shit. We played a show with them when we played in Pittsburgh. My other band,
What band was it?
No Mercy.
Oh, I've heard of you. I've heard of them. There's a band. They're slamming beatdown. They're called Place Blame. They're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, I know who
I saw
that is.
I saw them open for fucking Shadow of Intent, and like,
That's sick.
and they came out on stage and they're like, "Hey, can you guys like mosh or something?" And everybody just stood there like. And
It's
my
just annoying.
and my
I
thing
hate-
and my
hate
thing
that.
is I was like, look, I was talking to me and my friend were standing there. I was like, dude, come on. Even if we're the only two doing it, like, these guys are trying to go places. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's just how I thought of it. And I took pictures with them and everything. Had the dude sign the back of my old phone. Like, it made little things like that make smaller bands' day. You know what I mean?
And it's awkward playing shows to people just staring at you because I've only played a handful, but every time I walked away like, why the fuck am I doing this anymore if this is how it's gonna be?
You also have to think though, if you've played in Pittsburgh,
I'm drinking.
if you also got to think though, is if you've played in Pittsburgh, you know how picky we are. That's
Yeah.
the thing. We are very
Yeah.
picky.
I feel extremely lucky to have had a warm reception in Pittsburgh when we did play. But like, we've been friends with the dudes from
Face Rack.
no Good Deed, and like that show is when we met AJ.
Face Rack's dope.
Yeah, they're cool. And like Long Ripper, all those dudes I fucking love those dudes.
The breathing process is dope. We got Casket Maker, Upper Rising PA band. They're sick.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
CJ McCreary's starting a new band.
Why is that name so familiar?
I'm not gonna get into it, but just look it up.
Xbox.
Just look it up.
Is that didn't? No, he didn't get canceled, did he?
Yes, he did.
Did he? Oh, he did. Right. Oh, yeah. I know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm in the splash zone. That's all I'm about to say.
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
Billy, what's that kid's name from the Jacob kid from Long Ripper that everybody made me take a picture with on
Jake
Sunday?
B.
Dude, they're like,
Jake B's the man.
I'll never forget it because everyone's like, "Yo, come on, get next to this kid right fucking now." They're trying to make me sneak up next to him, and I was like, "No, I know that kid. Like, he's nice." They're like, "He's your fucking brother. I swear to God."
I can see it. Jake B's playing in Steve's new project.
Is he?
Yeah, that shit is gonna be nuts. If you like Built Upon Frustration, you're gonna like that project.
I want to get ripped away in Pittsburgh really bad.
Hopefully soon.
Good luck.
Ooh.
I know. At least I don't know when we were recording. Sonny from Hate 56 was there, and he
Yeah.
talked about wanting to do a live stream for like a record release. But shows are coming back, so I'm like, I would love to do full production with Sonny, but also like shows are coming back.
Yeah. And
My take on that is I would still do that regardless. Only
I would do both.
right, because then exactly like I would do both only because like one, like if we can play a record release show, cool. If we can't, like whatever. But at least then the people who are still uncomfortable with going to shows can just watch the live streaming.
Yeah.
well, hopefully by the time you guys are in Pittsburgh, you know, my thing is I still got to integrate into society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that as soon as I found out about this whole virus thing, my anxiety was like, listen, you're not doing shit. And then, like, during last summer, you know, I went out and I went to Robinson Mall and shit like that. So I was like, I'm still kind of integrating into society a little bit more. And that's the thing.
See, it's cool seeing like a different perspective on like the whole like how COVID's affected people differently. Because for me, I had just moved to Philly. I was probably not even my third month into living there, and COVID happened, and so I picked up skateboarding again. I started doing that heavy,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know, drinking with people. I met a lot of people through skating. Like I had a good time. Like honestly, for me, the whole time I never really was like, other than wearing a mask when I had to, or like around people, you know, whatever. I just couldn't do my thing.
Yeah, I wear a mask everywhere I go. You know what? Like, it's not that. Okay, I hope this doesn't sound self-conceited. I care about other people. Like, I could care less if I get it. But my thing
Right.
is if I have it, I don't want to transmit it to some old lady that's behind me in the store.
Yeah.
That's
And-
somebody's grandmother. That's somebody's aunt. That's, you know, I think of things like that when that comes to mind. Because, you know, I don't want to take someone's grandparent away from them because
Right.
I wasn't wearing a mask in a store for 10 minutes.
That's how, like, if I'm out skating, I don't really wear a mask.
Well, that's
Usually
different.
'cause
You're
I'm-
outside.
Yeah.
You're outside. Science is, like, they did a scientific thing. You shouldn't have to wear a mask to outdoor events anymore.
And I'm also not staying in one place long
Yeah.
enough to really make a sizable impact. But if I'm indoors around anybody, I wear a mask.
Yeah, and that's, I think of it as like, listen, this is somebody's grandma, this is somebody's aunt, this is somebody's step cousin. You know, like, even younger people, like, even if there was some kid my age and he was standing behind me, I don't know what this kid's got going on with his immune system. Like, if I were to cough on him by accident and I didn't have a mask on, this kid could fucking die. You know, so I think of things like that. It's not just about me. It's not just about, you know, it's about my family and older people.
Right.
That's how I think of it. You know what I mean? And then the self-conceited people, you know, I tend to stay away from those people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I just, at this point, I just stopped following it, and now we're going back in the studio. Billy, what is it, next weekend, May 1st?
Yeah, is that next? Oh fuck!
Yeah. So Billy's still finishing.
I gotta still finish the song. I just realized what the date was. Yeah. Oh god, now I'm nervous.
The 28th, we're finishing recording, and then we're gonna discuss the release date with Upstate. Shout out to Mario for helping us out with all that.
He's a fucking man.
You know, go from there.
Yeah, it's that's been, I think, out of all of this whole pandemic thing, taking a break and taking time away from shows and having a really public life to be able to like write music and like I literally told Clemmo when I started writing the new record, I was like, I don't want people to like this. I want them to be really fucking confused by this because it's not just gonna be like cookie cutter hardcore. It's gonna have melody. I want to include clean vocals on it. I want to get really fucking weird with this shit. I mean, it's still got some hard ass breakdowns and two steps in it, but I literally set out to write a record that we as a band loved and everyone else hated. Unfortunately, everybody seems to like it.
My thing is, I was talking to Chandler earlier because I was like listening to you guys, and I hope you guys don't take offense to this, but like I had saw that you guys haven't released music in a couple years, and I was like, dude, then there's gonna be nothing to talk about. Like I have no main platform to talk about here. And then he was like, oh, they're releasing a new album, and I'm like, okay, so there might be something to talk about then.
Yeah, we've been sitting on like 7 or 8 songs for months now.
Yeah, COVID really was just like, since we had the time, I said to everybody, I was like, you know what, not that like I want to ignore the band, but we were all kind of just like, let's
Burnt
figure
out.
out, because like at least me personally, like I really like had to get my shit together, because I was kind of just like falling off my own wagon and like losing myself as a person, and like just like not really taking care of my responsibilities, and like, you know, in the process of doing that throughout 2020 and like enjoying myself and figuring out who I was, to where it's like I feel like the last few months of 2020, I started talking to Billy a lot, and I was like, you know, let's do this with this record, because we had so much time to just sit on it and make it what we want it to be. And I told Billy, I was like, you know, don't hold back. Like if it's weird, like send it. Like, you know, like let's do whatever.
Yeah.
And like even like 2 of the songs on the record have cleans in them, and one of them is a guest spot, and then there's stuff that's gonna be with me and Billy. But like the fact that like I'm even saying that about Ripped Away, if you said that to me 3 years ago when we started the band, I would have been like, absolutely not. Where it's like now I'm like, oh, that's kind of like cool. Like a lot of bands that I listen to that I like have like clean parts here, and like, and when I say cleans, I don't mean singing like, you know, your typical fucking, you know, dad rock fucking butt grunge shit. Great, I love 'em.
Clemmo wants to get Sean Milk from Alisana to sing.
Right. Like,
Get Matt Honeycutt to do harmonies.
Yeah.
And your next, it sound like a pit bull eating cereal. Like
Oh,
that's
dude,
literally what it would sound like.
Even my other band, I'm trying to do some cleans in, and anybody that asks, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sing like a fat guy. That's my plan. It's gonna
I'm
be fat guy
gonna
vocals.
sing like a fat guy.
It's gonna be fat guy vocals, like that hard ass crowbar shit. I love that. But like Ripped Away is gonna be completely different. So it's like I'm so excited for this, like what Ripped Away is doing.
What I'm happy about too is, to me, this is what I wanted the band to sound like from the start, with a little bit more of like the like metal way that it's going. Because originally, Ripped Away, if you listen to that other game that I'm in, Fool's Game, that was my idea for Ripped Away. And then, you know, we kind of turned it into like the people that like I started the band with at the time didn't want to do a straight up hardcore band. So it turned it into like a, you know, a heavier side of things, and like I went down with it. And then it, you know, if you listen to the first 4 songs that we ever put out, that was way too much like out of my realm for what I wanted.
Don't listen to the first 4 songs that they put out.
Yeah, lyrically, I still put everything into them, but it wasn't what I wanted. And my favorite thing about this record is it's what everybody wants, obviously, but it's definitely close to home for me because I'm like, wow, this is like the band that I always wanted to be in. Like, I can show people these songs and be like 100% like, I'm proud of this. We wrote this together. Like, it's here and like it's in your face, and like I'm really excited to get it out, especially because it's been I think almost 2 years since we've put out a fucking song.
Yeah, and like this is also me as and for the first time ever, kind of, I'm like writing majority of the music. Usually I've had somebody else incorporated, but our other guitar player just had a new baby, so he's been like very, very, very shut in, just to make sure that for the sake of the health of his baby, which is understandable, but unfortunately that isolated him from most of the writing process. So this is the first time I ever wrote a record pretty much by myself. And it's also the first time that I wrote a record where I was like, I'm going to write a record that I like, and don't care what anybody else has to say or how they feel about it, as long as me and my homies love it and we're able to go into the studio and do what we want to do. And that means that 6 months from now, we're going to listen to it and still be happy with it. Because there's plenty of music that I've put out that I listen to now that I'm like, fuck, why did I do that?
I feel that.
Like, the only thing I'm scared of is when I start my band, is I'm gonna get some, like, old school, like, fucking hardcore guy, and he's gonna be like, yo, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is...
You're always gonna have that. You're always gonna have somebody with some shit to say.
I'm gonna be like, dude, your arthritis would, like, it hurt you, bro. Like, chill out. The music we play is gonna beat you up more than the crowd's beating themselves up. Chill.
Yeah,
just write a record that you're happy with. Write a record that you want to listen to. Don't write a record that you think other people would like.
Yeah, like Whitechapel did.
I kind of their new stuff I actually kind of liked.
It's not horrible, but
it's the songwriting itself has matured so much, and it's very evident.
But I became a certified surgeon from their old shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, the Somatic Defilement is probably one of the best deathcore records ever written. But you can see
the mature.
And not like New Suicide Silence, because Eddie Hermida fucking ruined that band.
He really did, bro. And sometimes he watches this podcast.
But yeah, no, he can go fuck himself for what he did to what would have been the greatest deathcore band to ever live.
Literally.
I recently like dove into the Cleansing super hard. Ironically, when I was writing the Ripped Away stuff, I dove into the Cleansing because they have a lot of old like death metal riffing in it that I love old death metal, and that's where a lot of my influence has been coming from recently. And I listened to that and I was like, dude, this is hard as shit, and it still holds up today. These riffs are fucking gnarly. And then you listen to the stuff that they've put out recently, and you're like, this is awful. This just went downhill so fast.
My thing is like, can we talk about Cannibal Corpse's new album, bro? That shit
it was so good.
It was such a ripper.
So good.
It was such a ripper, man.
And like the quality, the studio quality of the music is like tenfold better than anything they've ever done, which also coupled with the fact that like the songs were amazing, the heavy parts were amazing, everything about the record was perfect, and it sounded clear and fat as shit. I was like, dude, this is probably one of the best things they've ever done.
We had Cranium on.
That's sick.
We had the dudes from Cranium on. And I don't know if you guys know the band Ingested. And I'm always going to tell this story because this
I love
shit's...
Ingested.
Okay, but I was like, listen, Ingested isn't real slam, right? Here's what the lead vocalist of Cranium said. He was like, okay, so here's how I like to explain this to people. You take me to a library, and I'm looking for the non-fiction section. Then they take me to the fiction section. That's Ingested.
Yeah. That's fair. That Ingested was my first exposure to like slam.
Yeah. Well, their old
think-
shit's kind of slammy, but their new
Yeah,
shit,
like-
they're deathcore. They're deathcore
sure.
now. They're not.
My buddy put on Skinned and Fucked, and I was like, "What is this?"
Listen, my
So-
first exposure to fucking slam was epicardectomy. Like, that was my first.
I can only imagine what that logo looks like.
Want me to
My
pull-
biggest thing, I don't get a new Nickelback album this year. I'm gonna fucking freak out.
I hate you.
If I don't get a new trap single, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
There's no way that I'm the only person that's excited for a new Stained album, and I have no shame.
I love
don't
Slant.
understand. Dude.
I love Stain.
Clemo loves Stained.
I don't know. I honestly.
You want to talk about a dude that's willing to spend $300 on merch swap for some Stained T-shirts?
That's the epicardectomy logo.
Yeah, I can't read that. And I think that means they did it right.
Wait, hold on.
Looks like cracks in a leather bus seat.
Grease.
Yeah, dude, deathcore logos just got progressively more ridiculous.
This is slam. This isn't fucking deathcore. This is slam.
I want to say it's all the same shit, but I know I'll catch so much hell if I say that.
Well, here's the. Listen, I'm not a.
No, I will. Slam death metal, and deathcore are three very different things. Very different.
Then
things.
you got slamming brutal deathcore and slamming brutal
Yeah.
death. It's listen, I'm not a fucking slam elitist or any of that shit. Like, I'm not the slam police. But the next motherfucker I see that says asking Alexandria in a mirror or slam, I'm coming to your house and kicking your fucking teeth in.
When we were young and Varials was like just starting off, there was a big like debate that they were a fucking slam band. And they weren't, and they very clearly weren't, but they rode that shit so hard, and they put out a t-shirt that said Pennsylvania Slam on it, and like everybody laughed their asses off about it for a few months.
I love that.
It was it was a very Varials move.
I like
It's weird how everybody's got a different opinion on something that sounds exactly like it's funny because it's a song, but it sounds different to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like my thing is like these people that are calling a mirror and asking Alexandria slam is like, what are you doing with your lives? Like,
They see a YouTube tag and they're like, "Oh, yep, that makes sense."
and then you got guys like me. Like, I'm so glad to be so cultured at such a young age on shit like this. Like, I grew up listening to fucking Pantera, fucking Cannibal Corpse, Motley Crue. Like, my mom used to go to CBGB's in fucking New York and
That's sick.
and Mostig, Gnostic Front. Like, I'm glad to be so cultured on this shit because then, like, when people ask me for an opinion on a band, I can have confidence that I'm telling the truth.
It's rough though, because I was 18 was right around the time that I dove even deeper into like genres and subgenres, and it made life really fucking annoying hanging out with people that didn't know that stuff because I had to sit there and internalize all of that. Everyone calling shit like people calling A Day to Remember like pop punk and shit, and I'm like, oh man, this is burning my ears.
Oh, dude, this is so bad. And the thing is I wouldn't keep up with social media if I didn't have a podcast.
Yeah,
That's
I would not exist on social media if I didn't play in bands.
Yeah, I wouldn't have such a huge, like, I wouldn't be on social media if I didn't have a podcast. But the thing is this keeps me on social media. And, like, I have to know what's coming out if I have a band coming on. Like, yeah, bro, I know nothing about you, but I heard your band's name is Pools of Fear, and I heard you guys are pretty sick. Like, it turns out they do fucking covers of Motley Crue songs.
I mean, that's sick. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with playing Motley Crue.
No, but Motley
They're
Crue
like-
should play Motley Crue.
Motley Crue is like one of the only good things about the 80s.
And Cannibal Corpse and Death and Agnostic
And-
Front.
And Queen.
And Queen, yes. And Megadeth and Metallica. And
Not a Megadeth fan, but I'm a huge Metallica fan.
I'm not a Megadeth fan either. I like one song by them.
I think everybody likes one, at least one.
Pantera, you know, them dudes. Them
Yeah.
dudes fuck. All right.
Yeah, Pantera. We almost covered not Ripped Away. We almost covered the intro to South of Heaven by Slayer when we were still playing music, and everyone was just like, "Is this too old?" I'm like, "No, dude, this shit fucking rips."
This shit is a ripper. Like, I've never been a
Yeah.
big Slayer fan either, though. That's the thing.
What? Oh my god!
But the thing is I like their music. I'm just like, I wouldn't pay to see them. You know what I
I
mean?
would pay a lot of money to see them.
What is what year was it? This is probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was at a show in Jersey, and what the fuck was it at? It was in what the fuck? I'm spacing on the name of the fucking place.
Beat Locker?
No, with Joe Stanley books. Fucking
Oh, Champs.
yeah, Champs. So I'm at a Champs show, and like half my friends aren't there that I like normally would be there. And I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" They're like, "Oh, there's a fucking Slayer concert, literally like 40 minutes away." And I was like, "Oh, well, what the fuck am I doing here?" Like,
Yeah. Slayer fucks. I don't really know what else I can say about that band other than the fact that Slayer fucks.
Dude, they're so good, but I don't know what. I think it's the vocals that does it for me. That's why I didn't get into them.
Yeah.
Godsmack EP is better than
Stop.
everything.
Whatever you're about to say, stop.
Dude, can I just say that Trapped is the best fucking slam band out there right now? Can I just say what the fucking Pittsburgh scene is from what I've heard? So Trapped had a show in Pittsburgh, right? And
I heard-
God.
and a bunch of metalheads went to that show and threw beer bottles full or empty at them. And were throwing tomatoes and shit and told them to get the fuck off stage.
Good. They're a bunch of fucking cops. Fuck them. Their vocalist is literally like the human incarnation of a can of Rockstar Energy.
Can Rockstar Energy.
If Rockstar had a sound, it would be Trapped.
If Monster had a sound, it'd be Fine Finger Death Punch.
Oh, for sure. Dude.
That's a band that like anytime I'm at work, all the other guys are like, "Oh, do you sound like Five Finger Death Punch?" And it's
Yep,
just
I
like,
knew you were gonna say that.
Are you a Blue Lives Matter supporter? Like, what are you doing? Like, did you
Yeah,
guys see the whiny little bitch fest lineup? It had Iced Earth, Trapped, and Five Finger Death Punch playing at the same venue. And it's sponsored by some shitty local energy drink company, and they're at a dive bar somewhere in fucking Utah.
And it's probably like actually a big pyramid scheme. They're gonna try and sell you the energy drink at the end of the show.
We played a show in Syracuse, and a couple of my buddies had this like little like band, and it was like a beatdown band, but for fun. But they'd all chug those dollar store Rip It drinks, and like,
Bro,
everyone-
Rip It's get you fucking zooted.
Dude, bro.
What
Especially-
band, Clemo?
I'm trying to think of the name. It was I wanted to keep saying Street Soldier, but it's not them because that's that
Definitely
UK
not.
band.
Yeah.
It was something Soldier. I think it might have been Syracuse Soldier or something like that. It was something like funny. But like, here's the thing: like the music literally sounded like Laid to Rest minus the vocals. Like, and it wasn't bad by any means, but it was just for fun. So they're playing this heavy ass like music. Everybody's moshing, like going nuts, and they're just chugging Rip It's, pouring it on themselves, throwing it at people. Like all kids, like
That could have been a movement, bro. They could have been to Rip It what ICP was to fucking Fago.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm mad. We played Syracuse once. Wasn't it? You Ripped Away and No Mercy were supposed to play a festival in Syracuse, weren't we? Somewhere in
Yeah.
upstate.
Ripped Away and No Mercy had a week booked 2
Yeah.
years, and then we
Clemo bailed.
yeah, it was all my fault.
It wasn't your old guitarist getting his nose broken at a freaking Attila show.
Oh yeah. So our original guitarist, huge piece of shit, and
Big
that's
time.
why anymore, because that's been a question we got asked a lot, is like why he's not around. And yeah, he's just fucking weirdo, so fuck him. And if you're watching this, fuck you. And I piece of shit.
He's goofy, and he can catch the hands any day of the
Hey,
week.
listen, can I just say that I've seen Attila live, and that it is like the most party thing I've been to in the metal scene.
That's the Sonic equivalent of cocaine.
Penis.
And Rip It energy drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
And bangs. Bangs too, bro. The bangs get you fucking going, man. Holy
I
shit.
couldn't believe when I heard that Tyler got his nose broken at fucking
Attila out
at
of
an
all
Attila
places.
show. I was like, dude, like, there are so many other better places you could have been not getting your nose broken, and you picked the Attila show. And he also like loved Attila. If anybody wants to see what this kid looks like, he's got an old band called Muscle Shark,
Muscle.
and they're awful. They sound like Diet Attila, and it's hilarious.
Listen to Muscle Shark.
Shout out Muscle Shark. Do they got merch?
I fucking hope not.
Dude,
Oh.
it's so funny. The first
Holy
time I
fuck.
saw it, I was like, no way. And then I saw the old ripped away guitarist, and I was like, yes, this makes sense.
It's fucking 9 o'clock already. Holy shit.
He fucking drinks rock stars and goes to Attila shows. This man is a fucking ripper.
Oh, he is. Yo, man, I appreciate you having us on the podcast.
Yeah,
A lot.
for sure.
Yeah, I will definitely, keep you in the loop about the new record and things
I'll
like
add
that.
you. I'll add you on Facebook.
Yeah, and at any time, maybe we can get Firehead, our drummer, on here sometime.
What?
Yeah, oh God, do you want to tell the story before? Because I gotta head out too. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell the story?
So Firehead, our drummer, oh man, do you need a what's his Twitter handle?
I think it's Johnny X Edge.
Follow our drummer on Twitter, and you will get the comedy that you need in your life. I promise.
Wait,
So,
I'm trying to.
Johnny. Oh no, it's X Edgesaurus X.
If you want to hear about blowjobs and sloppy toppy and our drummer's sexual life, just Twitter is
Just
your
all
place.
over Twitter, which is like, I mean, it's such a weird thing because like he is so in love with his fiance to the point where he feels the need to talk about the great blowjobs he gets from her every single day on Twitter. And we played a show in fucking, where was it? That was at the Reverb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we finish up the set, and like some kid comes up to us to talk to us, and he looks at Johnny and he's like, "Oh, you're that dude on Twitter that talks about getting Firehead all the time, right?" Oh, and the legend of Firehead was born.
Dude, it's legendary. He actually made stickers of his
He
girlfriend getting jobs.
We stuck stickers of him getting head all over the place for a little bit there.
Billy, I added you on Facebook. I cannot find John anywhere, so
Oh, I'll make sure you find John. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I just share memes on my timeline. So like, don't like freak out if you see something about me licking someone's asshole or something.
You gotta eat, dude.
Listen, if you're not eating your girlfriend's ass, somebody else is.
If you're not eating the cooter on your scooter.
Somebody else will.
Chandler said that he's sorry about his shit internet.
Nah, he's fine.
But hey, man, thank you so much for having us on the podcast.
Of
Yeah,
course.
for real. Yeah, if you ever like after we do the whole record thing when we have and shows are obviously back, we're gonna have a lot more to talk about. So if you
Well,
ever
the
wanna
thing is if you
link
guys are
up
in,
again,
if you guys are in Pittsburgh, I might just do an in-person one.
that'd be
Yeah.
cool. That would be really cool.
Make sure you play with Watcher though, because I got to get one with them dudes too.
Yeah,
Off the Bailey.
Yeah. So we had Watcher on our first episode. We had the guitarist Andy, and he's like the coolest dude ever.